Okay. We just made a video showcasing our Steve Yzerman McDonald's flippin' the beef thumbnail. That was there yesterday. It's the second time we've actually used it. So I am going to refrain from using the old Stevie Y McDonald's picture again because it would actually be pretty appropriate in this case. We're talking about beef. No, not the Ali Wong sitcom, nor the McDonald's burgers that go flipping around up in the air. Just kidding, they don't really get flipped up in the air. I worked at McDonald's for a bit in high school. Today we're talking about the Stevie Y and Dylan Larkin beef. And we're also getting into some more Detroit Red Wings conversations because there are a number of things that we can dive into that have been reported about, that have been talked about. Helene St. James and Sar Khan providing us with some context as to what really went down within the Red Wings organization between former GM and current, what's it called? Advisor to the CEO and governor? That's what it is? Steve Yzerman, and currently the captain of the team, Dylan Larkin. By now, you've already heard the story. Dylan Larkin is from Waterford Township, Michigan. He played for the University of Michigan. He cheered for Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wings as a little boy. He grew up. He was drafted by the Wings. He started out his NHL career with the Detroit Red Wings with a team that bolstered the likes of Pavel Datsyuk, Henrik Zetterberg, Tomasz Tatar, Gustav Nyquist, Nick Kronwall, Peter Mrazek, and Jimmy Howard, guys that were admittedly up and down in the list of most important Red Wings of all time. I don't think anybody's really thinking that Mrazek stood out that much in the grand scheme of things. But Zetterberg, Datsyuk, Kronwall, they definitely did. Larkin was a part of that team. They made the playoffs in his first year. They lost in the first round, I believe to Tampa Bay it was. And then they just didn't make the playoffs at any point after that. Dylan Larkin, say what it is you want to say about his personality, about his priorities, about his wherewithal and his ability to stick with a losing team aside. This is a guy that wants out. And he's a guy whose request to get out has already been reported by that of the media, both at a national scale and within Detroit's own beat itself. Steve Yzerman, apparently, was on the receiving end of the quote-unquote rift, and a lot of this had to have started last year when the Red Wings did not make any significant trade acquisitions at the deadline in 2025. Larkin publicly called out Stevie Y for not making any big moves. This previous season, Yzerman did make one move. He acquired Justin Falk. I guess you could say he also traded away Elmer Soderblom, but that's neither here nor there. And the Red Wings ended up falling out of the playoff race once again after a very good start to the season. They were one of the top teams in the league towards the end of January, and then they missed the playoffs. How crazy is that? However, what if I told you that the rift between Larkin and Yzerman, the supposed beef, didn't actually just start last year because Yzerman didn't make any trades at the deadline? Take a look at this. There's a belief that the rift between Larkin and Yzerman began after Henrik Zetterberg retired, and because of the fact that Larkin wasn't named the Red Wings captain for over 2 years. This was via Ansar Khan on the Jason Gregor Show yesterday. And I'm going to say this right here. Henrik Zetterberg retiring? Okay, obviously that was going to happen at some point. Henrik Zetterberg, as much as he is an amazing human being and a very conditioned athlete, he was not going to play forever. And his last season in the National Hockey League was 2017-18. His captaincy was removed from the team. There was nobody that was the captain because, Zetterberg was under contract. He was still technically a part of the team. But Dylan Larkin did not end up getting the captaincy for Detroit until 2020-2021, the last season on Henrik Zetterberg's contract. Apparently, according to what Ansar Khan is saying, some folks believe that Larkin was already pissed off with Stevie Y as far back as maybe 2019, 2020. because Larkin wasn't named the captain of the team for that long. He's that butthurt about not being named captain right away? Egotistical maniac. Which proves the point that Larkin should have never been the captain. I'm fully on Steve's side, and any true fan knows something is just not quite leadership material when it comes to Dylan Larkin. Zetterberg retired in 2018, Yzerman was hired in 2019, so this makes zero sense. That's a really interesting point as well, although we can say that Zetterberg, while not like officially like, oh, I'm rescinding my contract at this stage, there still was a deal that needed to be fixed, which is why these seasons are listed here on Elite Prospects. 0 games, 0 games, 0 games. But I digress. The point is still there. That's really interesting, isn't it? Like, they haven't named me captain yet? Darn it, that's Stevie Y! This guy's going out there and trying to sabotage my career. Like, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but that frame of mind is so interesting to me. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Ansar Khan's reporting over here? Take a look at this. Helene St. James spoke on TSN Overdrive earlier on Wednesday regarding Dylan Larkin and his future post-Steve Yzerman. She said on the program that would be a lot to walk back. It's been going on for 2 months. The organization is upset with Larkin, asking for a trade after they've paid down the chunk of the actual salary, $31 million over 3 years. Now there's another element to the Larkin trade request angle that seems to have gone under everybody's noses. It's the fact that Larkin is making $8.7 million a year, yes, but the majority of the money was given out to him in the earlier parts of the contract. You have $10 million in 23-24, $11 million 24-25, and $10 million again in 25-26. Every other season afterwards is at 8, 8, 8, 7.6, and $7 million per season. The Red Wings already paid the majority of this contract, and that is not really all too ideal for a franchise to be given the most money possible to spend on a guy, only to have that be spent on a guy in the first little bit and have the guy want to leave when he's going to be a lot cheaper to actually pay and keep around. Doesn't really work for the proper spending and what it is you're getting out of this player if you pay mostly for the years where he doesn't perform properly and his team doesn't do as well as you hope they would. Now, there were some other conversations as well. Jeff Merrick spoke on the Sheet podcast last week regarding the Larkin trade request, that one of the issues here is a lot of teams are looking at Larkin and saying, yeah, he's a first-line center on the Red Wings, but this guy on a good team is a second-line center, and that's the price that we want to pay. It does not seem like other NHL teams are evaluating Larkin as first-line center material, which is fine. I think it's a very fair thing to go out there and say. Even though this report was from last week, you can still see 1.6 thousand people agreeing with it and liking it. Also, the contract, $8.7 million by 5 years when other one Cs are making $18 million is a huge chip to have. While this is true, there have been so many teams willing to pay heavily for worse guys to fill their 2C spot. That makes sense, but then again, it's like, oh, well, Larkin, he has a very limited trade list after all, so what more do you want? So, with all that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about these extended commentary points on the beef between Yzerman and Larkin? How not being named the captain earlier on in his tenure supposedly pissed Dylan Larkin off a little bit more. And do you think this will transfer into the next GM's hands? What do you think is the direction the Red Wings go down with Dylan Larkin now that Yzerman is gone? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.